Hello, my name is Joseph Alai. Welcome to my channel. And today I want to talk about dropping your story. So a lot of when I talk to my coaching clients or when I receive emails, they like to introduce to me the story of their past and how they got from where they are or where they were to where they are now, or the bad things that happened in the past. Any number of things to kind of give me the context of the story. Well, here's the thing. This story is the reason why things are not the way that they ought to be. So this story is given to us by logic, by our memory, by facts and statistics to kind of act as a way to prove to you that this is very hard, so it's going to take a lot in order to get you to where you want to be. And another thing that I commonly see is when constructing a story or a scene, people generally talk about, I am back together with this person, or this person apologized to me, right? So these are all things that we don't want to do. And I'll tell you why. It makes perfect sense. So in the Bible, there's a quote and it says, though your sins be like scarlet, they will be white as snow. But what it's really talking about there is the spirit or the subconscious mind is constantly creating exactly what we give to it. But we keep the story in place. We manifest the same thing over and over. We make the problem persist by constantly calling on the problem. So, I don't know if you notice, you go to sleep and then when you wake up in the morning, it takes you a second to kind of remember what happened yesterday. That is repopulating the subconscious mind with memories and the story, and those things will be constantly replicated over and over and over again. So when it talks about you being white as snow, it's talking about a clean slate. We have the opportunity, we were given the gift to have a clean slate every day, to manifest exactly what we want. The only reason we are in the same position as we were yesterday is because we keep playing that same story over and over. And the way to test this is easy. What you do is, instead of remembering something specifically that happened in your past, change it with something else. So when you shut off the senses, replace the old story with a new story. The story that you would like to experience, or the story that you would like to have experienced in the past. This is manifesting. This is what manifesting is doing. It's replacing your current story with the story of your liking. Because the subconscious mind is constantly replicating all the things that we impress upon it. So every time we draw into our memory a story of the past, a story of pain, a story of failure, a story of limitation, it is being impressed over and over and over again. And then when when it happens, we emotionally react and we plant that seed. Or when we remember it or play that scene in our mind, any bad memories or good memories for that matter, they will be impressed and they will play again and again and again. This is why people have a very difficult time getting out of states, right? Because naturally, the human mind depends upon these memories to construct patterns to live safely in this life. So if you'll notice, when people have had something traumatic happen to them, they basically start to base their whole life around that thing. They take certain actions to prevent from feeling that again. They identify with that story. When they introduce themselves, when they talk to people, they always talk about that story. They're constantly bringing into their awareness that story over and over and over again, and it's constantly being replicated over and over and over again. So when it comes to getting what we want, the exact nature of how to do that is to completely replace or ignore the story. That's how to get what you want. So as I mentioned earlier, our days are constantly very similar to the last. And the reason this is because whatever we see, think, feel, taste, touch, hear, smell, all the conversations we have, all the experiences we've had yesterday and the day before, they are being impressed upon our subconscious mind, right? Our conscious analytical mind is allowing that information to be processed into our mind, and that is planting seeds in that likeness. So when these seeds are planted by reacting to something, by perceiving something, it will be manifested again and again. This is literally what is happening. This has been happening ever since you were born, since you drew your first breath. Every minute and every day, every hour, every week, month, year, until now. That same exact thing has been happening, and that is why stability occurs. That's why that's why a lot of people keep having the same bad things happening to them in every relationship that they have. This is why everyone, not everyone, but generally you'll see patterns emerge with money. People receive money and they lose it. If they're not used to having it, the story in their mind creates you not having it again. And if you get money, you end up losing it. So what we can do then, and this is where manifesting comes in beautifully, right? This is basically like the nuts and bolts of manifesting, is we replace the world without with the world within. Because that's what's happening here. This exterior world is only a projection or manifestation on what is inside, right? And then it becomes a feedback loop. We have first thought, it has been created, and then it becomes impressed again because we react, and then it creates again, and such and so forth. So what we do there now is intervene, right? To have that freedom that we want, to get whatever it is that we want. So the way that it works is seeds that we plant will manifest. And whatever needs to happen for it to manifest will happen as well. So we don't need to figure out how we want to get something. We only need to figure out exactly what we want to experience. If we can figure out exactly what we want to experience, we then use the process that we've always been doing inadvertently, which is perceiving something in first-person point of view in real life, right? In physical reality. It enters into our mind, and then it replicates so that we experience it again. So what we do is we replace that process and we emulate it with that natural way. And so we construct that scene of what we want, and then we enter into our imagination. And when we enter into our imagination, we replace current physical reality with our imaginal reality. If we can do this in the exact likeness, such as what I could see, feel, taste, touch, first person point of view, emotionally, then what happens is instead of creating what you've always created, which is what's happening in this world, you're then creating what you've imagined. It truly is as simple as this. You don't need to get your vibration up. You don't need to open a third eye. You don't need to read tea leaves or your horoscope. None of that. It's all based off of what we are impressing upon the subconscious mind, period. Period. You can easily test it. Do exactly the instructions that I've just recommended and suggested to you. Bring a scene into your mind's eye of the end result, having already received the thing that you want. Even if you replace 1% of your waking day with imaginal scenes of your choice, you will then have at least 1% of your day replaced by those imaginal scenes of your choice. It's truly as simple and easy as that. The only thing that's required now is for you to plan out what you want to see and add enough detail to it so it can emulate or copy reality. So I generally outline these things on a piece of paper, and then shutting off the senses completely so that we remove this physical world. That's closing our eyes and being fully present in the moment and not thinking from the person I am right now, but thinking from the person that I would be in that scene and acting as if I am there right now, right? That's exactly how this works. And so if we do that, we don't need to remember any story, nothing in the middle. no hurt, no pain, no breakup. None of that matters. We don't want to bring any of that stuff with us into the future. We want to leave that behind. And so the way to leave that behind is to simply leave it out of your imaginal acts. Don't say, I imagine he's going to apologize to me. No, don't do that, because that still implies that something was wrong in the past. What you want to do is act as if you guys are perfect now. Act as if you have the money now. Don't think about what you need to do to get it. Don't think about what anyone else needs to do for you to get it. You simply construct the scene as if it's already done right now. And as far as apologies and stuff is concerned, when we forgive inside, so forgiveness should not be dependent upon the other person, because they are only us pushed out anyway. So if we forgive them on the inside, then that will automatically be taken care of. And if we imagine ourselves as the person that we are right now, then that we want to be right now, then whatever needs to happen for that to take place will happen, right? So anyway, I hope you like this video. If you like this, scroll down, subscribe, hit the bell icon, register for my mailing list for unlisted videos on sovereignmind.com, and stay tuned for more. Thank you.